Good afternoon, guys. My name is Alena Shautsova. I'm an immigration attorney from Brooklyn, New York. And in today's video, I would like to talk about a status of President Biden's freeze on deportation and what it means for people who are in the United States with orders of removal, or let's say people in the United States who do not have status. So as per new president's order, we're going to refer to them as non-citizens or undocumented residents of the United States, right? Because non-citizen is actually a very broad term. It can also have some legally residing immigrants, for example, those who have green cards and those who have temporary green cards or some visas. So I would call such groups undocumented residents. So we're very clear as to who we're referring to. So first of all, as you are aware, on his first day in office, President Biden undertook several immigration actions to reform the immigration system. And the biggest action so far was that very generous immigration bill proposal that I'm going to speak about and status of that bill in a separate video. And one of those actions was to direct ICE or enforcement branch of the Department of Homeland Security to stop, to freeze all deportations for 100 days. Well, let's understand why it was done. It was done so that Department of Homeland Security can review whether those deportations were fair and whether the deportation enforcement policies or removal policies are fair. Or perhaps these people can qualify for some sort of relief, and perhaps basically the immigration authorities can do a better job. So let's talk about the status of that action. Well, first of all, the action was spelled out in a memo on January 20th, or about 5 days ago, 2021. What it actually says that the new proposed immigration enforcement priorities are going to go into effect on February 1st, 2021, or about a week from now. But in the meantime, all the deportations for those people who have final order of removal are going to be frozen, not going to be enforced. However, there are important exceptions that you need to know about. So who can still be removed physically outside of the United States, even if we have this 100-day freeze? And now I'm going to talk about those people. Number one, people who are convicted terrorists or suspected terrorists or pose a danger to the national security of the United States. Well, usually has to be some heavy criminal convictions or arrest attached to the situation. People who were not in the United States before November 1st, 2020. So if you recently attempted to come to the border, through the border, or let's say you are in the United States right now, you're subject to the expedited removal, you're not protected by this 100-day deportation freeze. Unless, of course, you're seeking for asylum, or certain immigration benefits. And people who have been convicted of an aggravated felony. This, I have to say, is one of the problematic categories, because you may be aware that certain crimes fall into this aggravated category just technically. Basically, it's a technicality. But nevertheless, people with aggravated felony convictions can be deported even during this 100-day freeze. And finally, people for whom ICE supervisor, ICE director made an individualized determination of removal. For whatever reason, I guess they will have a good reason, a person who not squarely falls into these categories can still be removed. All right? So these are the people who are not protected by the 100-day freeze. Now let's talk about those proposals, those categories of groups of people that were proposed as enforcement priorities. It's pretty much the same categories of people. The only thing that the memo spells out that it's going to actually work on maybe expanding the list or reducing it or making it better. So right now they have only proposed groups that will be regarded as immigration enforcement priorities. Again, those are the people who are terrorists, suspected terrorists, present a danger to national security, people who've been convicted of aggravated felony, who crossed the border on or after November 1st, 2020, or attempted to cross the border after November 1st, 2020. And those are the three big groups. Basically, if you're just illegally present in the United States for a long time, you are not going to be an enforcement priority. But the memo specifically says that nothing stops ICE from placing a person into removal proceedings for other immigration violations. So it's very, very important that you are aware of that. However, the memo also says that ICE will have a board discretion as to whether to place a person in removal proceedings, to issue notice to appear or cancel it, amend the charges, and so forth, join the motion to reopen. Basically the same range of different opportunities that existed before Trump took office. Because as you may be aware, under the Obama administration, ICE had very broad power to basically work out the case with the immigration lawyers. So this is the status of that enforcement action. I hope this video is helpful, so please like, share, subscribe to my channel, and in the next video I'm going to talk about the status of the Biden's immigration proposal, which I think is a very important topic. Thank you guys.